What's up, YouTube? Hope everyone has an absolutely blessed day today. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a video and show you guys how I use the press. I'm gonna load up 50 rounds of 44 Magnum and show you guys how I go through the procedure, not the setup. The setup is a lot more time consuming. I'm very much a stickler on that, so I don't always, sorry guys if the thunder outside, it is storming here. That's why I'm gonna do some reloading. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and load up some 44 Magnum for you guys and kind of show you the process that I use. Now everything is already set up. I've already loaded 44 Mag on this setup, so I don't have to go through and tweak everything the way I would if I was just setting up and going from scratch. But I do know I've already tested everything and everything is right with the system, but I'm going to go through the process and show you how I do it. There's probably better ways. I'm sure there's a lot of other ways that people do it, but this is the way I do it and it works for me. So anyway, I'm going to try to get the camera set up so it's angled, and I'll go through this and kind of tell y'all what I'm doing while I'm doing it. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reach up under here and I'm gonna get out my bucket of brass. So the one thing that I do that may be different, it's probably an extra step that some people don't do, is there's 50 spots right here, and you can see this brass has already been ready to go. So I'm going to fill this tray up and make sure that I have exactly 50 pieces of brass. So the one thing that I do, and the reason why I do it this way, is because I set out exactly 50 pieces of brass. I'll set out 50 primers, and then that way I know when I get to the end, did something mess up? If I've got something left over or not enough, then I need to go back and start over. The other thing that I do is I'm putting this all in here right now, and then I'm going to turn around and dump it in there. The reason I'm going to do that, I'm going to put some of my one-shot lube on there, just to make sure that it doesn't stick in my dies, if that makes sense. I have stuck a brass. This is considered a brass, guys, if y'all don't know. I have stuck a brass inside of the dies before, and it is not that fun trying to get it out. You can get it out. It's a little bit of work, but if I can prevent that, then I'm going to. Now, I know this brass doesn't look clean. It's still tarnished looking, but it has been cleaned. You can see the primer pockets and all on it. They've all been cleaned. This was all done in the sonic cleaner. I'll get that one in just a minute. So this one's empty. And this is a tumbled new brass. So this is new brass right here. So you can see the difference in the color. So this is probably twice shot now, and this is a new brass. You can tell I've got 50 in here. So now I'm just going to dump them out in there. I'm going to take my one-shot case lube. Roll it around. that's all I do. That actually just helps lube it up. Now, crazy thing is, I know I got 50, but I'm gonna go ahead and put them back in this thing. The reason being, it's a little bit easier for me to keep up with where I'm at, what I got going on. All right, now that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and put this up. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is come over here and get me 50 primers out. Just 50 primers right there. And I will count these out once I get them, but just kind of shake them around and get them. And there's a few that I'll end up turning over by hand, as you can tell, but majority of them flipped. This is a pickup tube, a little plastic end on it. So this is for the large primers, which this is. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that and that back right there for now. And what you do is you take this plastic end right here and you just push it over. And it just I counted all 50 of those. So now I'm going to put that back right there. I'm going to make sure this little pin is in right here. I'll turn these over. I'll take this rod with a little bit of plastic on the end and I'm going to slowly push down and make sure that that failed. So there's about 50 primers in there right now. So it's someplace right about there. So now I'm going to show you how I put it over here into the primer holder. I'm going to set that right there for just a second and get the camera set up. What I do now is I set this on top of this, match these holes up. I hold this brass piece because I don't want it falling on the primers. I pull this out and if you listen, you can hear them fall. I'll let this drop through. Make sure there's none in there. I take this tube off. I take this and I just set it down in here. And what this brass rod does is it puts weight on those primers because them things are very, very, very lightweight. There's not a whole lot to them. And what I don't want it to do is to just drop down on there and hit it. I don't want it to set something off. Here's the bullets that I'm using. They're copper plated extreme bullets, 200 grain, and that's what they look like. Let's see. So I set that down here. I'm going to switch the camera angle a little bit and I'm going to try to get it to where you guys can see what I'm actually doing. I know you'll be able to see it right here, but I want to see if I can get it set up so where you can see a little bit better. So I hope everyone can see what I'm doing. I know you can't see my face. So the first thing I do is I take one of these cases and I put it in here and I go ahead and pull the lever up and I push it up into my sizing die. When I come down, there'll be a primer set right there. And I take this rod and I push forward and I set that primer. So that primer's set. So if you can see, that shell has a primer in it right now. So that's done. My next one is I grab another casing and I put it right here I pull it up, and now this one's going to go in here to be sized, and it's going to twist, and the next one's going to go right over to the next one. And I'm going to flare it in this one. I'm going to pull it around. It's going to come back. I'm going to push this forward again. I just seated a primer in that shell, and this one has been, the neck has been opened up just a hair to accept the bullet. I'll grab another casing. I'm going to put it in here. We'll do the same thing. I'm going to pull up. This one's going to go into the sizing die. The next one's going to go into the expansion die. This one is going to lift this part up, and it's going to charge it with powder. Y'all see that came up? I pull it down. I'm going to push it forward. I just set a primer. This one has got powder in it. I've got a light right here that shines down. I can see that the powder charge is in there. This one has been sized. I'm going to grab another casing. I'm going to put it in here. Now I'm going to grab a head. So I'm going to grab a head. So when I pull this one up, it's going to come around. Again, this one's going to the sizing. This one's going to the expander. This one is going to the powder. This one is going to come in here, and I'm going to set the head on it. Now if you see here, this one is being sized, this one's expanded, this one's being put powder in, and this one is setting the overall length of the shell. I'm going to pull down. I just primed that one. That one's been expanded. This one has powder. That one's got a head on it. I'm going to grab a casing. We'll put a casing in this one. We'll come around. Now I'm going to put this head right here. And you just keep repeating the process. So that's the first of the bullets right there. So you remember what I told you earlier? It's supposed to be 1.610 or less. You can see that, that's zeroed. Check that. 1.583, 1.583, 1.5835, 585, 1.584. So that bullet is ready to shoot. So now that I interrupted myself, make sure that that one is right. It's ready to go. Got powder. So one thing you don't want to do, guys, when y'all are reloading is get too distracted. So I'm taking my time right now, and I'm talking to y'all through what it's going through. Now this one is fixing, again, this one is fixing to get crimped in this crimping die. I'm going to set the head on here. This already has a prime. I just push that forward and set that primer in that one. Grab another casing in here. So, put these bullets back up here. So if you see, all my primers went through, my rod dropped down. You can see that, my rod dropped down right there to the black mark, so I know it was done. I used up 50 primers, 50 shells. So what I'm gonna do now, so I always look at the bullet, and I just do a quick inspection of it just to make sure I don't see anything that doesn't look right. I will grab go no-go gauge. You guys can tell that dropped down in there just like it was supposed to. So I'll do a few random checks on it. If you remember, we'll go ahead and check one of these. 1.610 was the max it could be. .594, 1.595, so we're good. And I don't go and check every one of them. What I'll do is I'm just looking at the bullets overall, make sure everything looks right. And again, I'll go no-go gauge. Looks good. Another one. Looks good. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out my digital scale. I just calibrated it a while ago. Wait on it. I zeroed it out. Now all I did on this one is I took a piece of paper towel, I shoved it down in the primer hole. There's no primer in it. So what I'll do now, I'll take this, because I just zeroed it. I'm going to check my powder measurement. And let's see what it says. .4. So again, I told you guys earlier that I usually run a little over 10.2. It's 10.4, so I'm well below the limit for what I'm doing. This is perfect. I have no issues with it. All right, guys. So there you have it. There was me reloading 50 rounds of 44 mag. I will tell you that there's other people out there that does probably a better job at it than I do, as far as their speed and all that. I am not looking for speed on there. Today, if you look, I actually reloaded 100 rounds. I only showed you guys 50. That's how I knew the system was already set up when I decided to go ahead and make one. So now I got to do some cleanup. I will go ahead and put all the powder back in the HP 38 container up there. That one right there. I'll go ahead and put all the powder back in there and clean this up so I don't leave any powder in there. And then there's 100 rounds of 44 mag right there ready to shoot. So anyway, if you guys found that informative and would maybe like to see some more type videos like that of doing some reloading, maybe I can go into some depth on some things that I know. You guys may ask questions that I don't know the answer to, so I'll either try to figure it out, or I'll just say I don't know, guys, and that's not in my wheelhouse right there. So other than that, I hope everyone has an absolutely blessed day, and until next time, thanks.